If you are feeling rejected from your twin flame in some way, this video was created for you. It may have even been manifested unconsciously by you, because we are all connected in one giant web of human consciousness. And each of you listening on this channel are actually co-creators of this information, of these videos, along with me. So thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for sharing this energetic space with me here on YouTube. In this video, we're going to be discussing twin flame rejection. Why twin flames tend to reject one another at some point during their physical connection here on Earth. What it looks like, why it happens, and how to react when it happens to you. Because I just felt this wave of pain. It was a physical kind of pain that I felt in my body, and I feel that one of you listening has been feeling this. A heartbreak so deep it runs to the very core of your soul and causes a physical pain. I just heard that it brings you to your knees. It causes you to double over with the physical intensity of this pain, of this sadness, because of the ways in which your twin flame is rejecting you. And so the first thing you need to know is that this response, this pain in your energy body and your physical body, is very natural and normal, because you and your twin flame are inextricably connected. This is a yin-yang energy that is meant to combine, to come together, to balance one another. So in this perceived separation through rejection from your twin flame, it feels as though in many ways you are being rejected by yourself. This part of you that shares your core soul frequency is rejecting you. So it feels like almost a form of self-rejection. What you need to know is that you are feeling this way because this is actually what's going on for your twin flame. When they are rejecting you, what is actually happening is they are rejecting themselves. We'll get into a deeper dive on this in a minute. But first, I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself, because there are so many new, beautiful souls out there listening who may not be familiar with who I am and what I do here on this channel. Hello, welcome if you are new. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In addition to creating these podcasts, I am also a subliminals creator. Years ago, when I first began my journey with spiritual awakening, the doorway to this journey was discovering the law of attraction, as I'm sure this was a doorway for many of you as well. I studied the law of attraction seemingly day in and day out. I listened to hundreds of informational videos. I read several books, and I began to try to use many of the law of attraction processes I'm sure you're familiar with. Affirmations, meditation, visualization. But there was a problem I wasn't aware of that was keeping me from seeing any results. And this was that I was deeply wounded on a subconscious level. I was trying to change all of these conscious thoughts. I was trying to act as if to impress these powerful visualizations. But these were all happening in the conscious 5% of my mind, whereas in the other 95% of my mind, my subconscious, I was continuing to play out on a loop these negative belief systems, deep level energetic wounds from childhood, from my upbringing, and specifically from a religious institution I was raised in that taught me of my own unworthiness of love and my own undeservingness to achieve my dreams in life. I took these beliefs on as my own for so long. I no longer consciously realized they were even happening, and yet they continued to manifest negative experiences, poverty, sadness, anxiety, jealousy, insecurity, lack of confidence, over and over again, despite all of my efforts to change them. The one tool that single-handedly assisted me in completely uprooting these negative subconscious thoughts and altering my energy field so that I began to magnetically, very quickly attract all of my dreams and desires was subliminal affirmations tracks. Subliminals are designed to bypass the conscious filter of the mind and deeply alter, make impressions on those deeper levels of our energy that we are so unconscious of because they are actually stored in the subconscious. When I started listening to subliminals, my life began to transform within literal weeks so fast. It felt like magic. So I began creating subliminals myself. That is how my website, Sound and Soulful, was born, where I've created a library of over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. As you can see on the screen, I have subliminals for physical appearance changes, for body changes, for confidence, happiness, creativity, to tap into your inner genius, to manifest within relationships, even to attract a specific person. But when it comes to twin flames, I have an entire section of subliminals dedicated entirely to you. My favorite twin flame subliminal and the most powerful one I've created to date is my 7 chakra twin flame clearing subliminal. More information on this chakra clearing subliminal will be in the description box of this video, as well as in the pinned comment. Now let's circle back into this perception, this illusion of twin flame rejection. I say illusion very intentionally because it is just an illusion. Separation itself is an illusion, and one that, as twin flames, we are sent to this earth in this life to see beyond, to transcend beyond the separations both within our individual twin flame connection, as well as within all of humanity as a whole. That is the immense power and amazing thing about the mission we have here as twin flames, is that by transcending our own inner wounds, inner perceptions of separation, and within our connection, we are actually transcending all of the boundaries of separation that have kept our planet in a state of pain. We are literally healing and uplifting all of human consciousness because we are learning the art of seeing beyond illusion, for not seeing physical illusion as a separation, but simply as a manifestation of inner and collective wounds which can be healed. We are returning the power back to ourselves and back to humankind to participate in our own inner healing, and by doing this, to uplift and heal all of the pain stored not only in our individual physical bodies and within our twin flame connection, but stored within our collective consciousness as one humankind. When we are rejected by our twin flame, what we need to know is that this is very natural because we come into a broken world. Twin flames are naturally very magnetic for one another, which is why they meet in the first place. They can't help but meet because they have an identical soul core frequency, and by the law of attraction, like attracts like, so you can only imagine what kind of magnetism that creates when two souls are radiating at the same frequency, regardless of the wounds within them, the pain within them, the ways in which they may hold themselves in a space of physical separation from one another. They are bound to connect, to meet, to share these brilliant, intense, profound experiences together in this physical world. Now, this magnetism becomes blocked because if we were truly, and our twin flame was truly in this whole, healed, authentic, naturally magnetic for one another state, we would never experience rejection. This is because we wouldn't be rejecting. If we weren't rejecting ourselves and our twin flame wasn't rejecting themselves in some way, we would never reject one another, because twin flames are energetically attracted at every level of their being through each of the 7 chakras. They are pulled together on a soul level, on a physical level, on an emotional, energetic level. However, keep in mind, I said this was when they're in their natural state. Society does all that it can to transform us unnaturally, to cause us to become very out of balance. Many of us who were creative, I speak now to those of you who are highly creative, divine feminines who were born with these amazing gifts. I saw someone who was an artist, someone who was a singer, someone who is an amazing dancer, and you knew this from a young age. You knew that you were the divine feminine, and you glowed in your divine feminine energy. You radiated that energy confidently. But from a young age, someone taught you those gifts weren't valuable, that you had to unnaturally embody this divine masculine, that you couldn't simply exist and magnetically attract in your divine feminine state. You had to overstep, you had to push, you had to become aggressive and controlling in order to go out and get what you want, because you were taught mistakenly that you couldn't just magnetically attract the things you want. You had to force and push in order to get them. Again, this is just speaking to a small segment of you, but some of you will be deeply resonating with this. And because of this, because of whatever way you were taught that you weren't enough in your own natural state, you began to reject certain aspects of yourself. This is what we call self-rejection. You chose that certain parts of yourself, or you were rather taught that certain parts of yourself were unworthy, unlovable, unnecessary, only holding you back. So you rejected those aspects, whether it was your creativity, your soft heart, your empathy, your confidence. In order to survive in society, especially in your family dynamic and family environment growing up, you were taught to repress, deny, and reject these gifts, these aspects of yourself that were part of your magnetic, authentic self that your twin flame loves, sees, and accepts so deeply. Over time, you rejected these aspects of yourself so long, you no longer even were aware of them. This is what we say when we talk about a shadow self. Your shadow self is simply all of those rejected aspects of yourself absorbed into the darkness of your consciousness, meaning you are no longer consciously aware of them. Now, how does this play into twin flame rejection? If you are experiencing twin flame rejection, it is because your twin flame has rejected aspects of themselves for so long, they are no longer even consciously aware that they have rejected these parts of themselves, or that these are even parts of themselves at all. So when they meet you, their twin flame counterpart, you fully see them, you fully understand them, you see their light and their dark intertwined. In fact, I just got goosebumps because I feel that many of you desperately want your twin flame to know that you love them for those parts of them beneath the surface, even those things about them others may see as weird or unlovable, or others may not find attractive conventionally. You find these conventionally unattractive elements of them to be incredibly attractive, and you have to know that they feel the same way about you on a soul level, because this is just how it works between twin flames. This is a tangent, but I strongly feel someone needs to know that someone who feels as though they have to put on appearances around their twin flame, you are someone who is aware that this is your twin flame, and you are starting to understand that they love you unconditionally, but you are still putting up a front. You are still trying to impress them. I saw someone putting on all this makeup, doing their hair, trying to get in better shape or whatever for their twin flame, because on some level, you feel as though you aren't enough. And yes, of course, we should always, whenever we feel inspired to, step into our power, improve ourselves in any way we wish to, even if this is related to physical appearance. But we should never do this from a space of trying to prove our own worth. Your worthiness is already assured. You are enough exactly as you are. And when your twin flame looks at you, they see you with all of these aspects of yourself. Maybe you've rejected. Maybe you try to cover with ego, with some kind of material success, or even physically. Maybe it's a blemish you try to cover with makeup. But you have to know your twin flame actually loves you for the very things you feel insecure about, these things that we may even call, to an extent, shadow aspects of ourselves, these things that we don't love or we reject about ourselves, just like you love your twin flame for how unconventional they are, for those things about themselves others may find unattractive. They feel the same way about you. And they feel this way even if they are rejecting you, which sounds as though it makes no sense. But again, you have to understand twin flame rejection is nothing more than a manifestation of self-rejection. And another thing you have to understand, and I want to touch on this and explain this delicately because this is a hard concept to grasp. But if your twin flame is rejecting you in the 3D and the physical, remember that your twin flame is your mirror soul. You reflect to each other what is happening within. So if your twin flame is rejecting you and therefore experiencing this self-rejection within themselves, there is a good chance that you also are experiencing pain from self-rejection. You are experiencing some kind of energetic self-wounding. In some way, there may be a part of yourself that you still aren't able to fully love, embrace, and accept, that you are afraid to show to the world. Because when you were young, this part of you that you did so boldly show when you were an infant, a toddler, and a young girl or boy was so harshly rejected by your caregivers, by people you were physically, materially dependent upon for survival. So naturally, when they rejected this aspect of you, you followed their example. It's in your very biology, in the evolution of our being. It's a primal instinct to want to fit in, to want to survive. And at that time, for your own emotional and physical survival, it was necessary for you to reject those aspects of yourself, to create this shadow self. But now, listening to this video here and now in this time and space, you are being invited to finally meet, accept, embrace, and heal those parts of yourself that you may have been rejecting for a very long time. And the more that you begin to fully embrace and to love every part of yourself, even those unconscious pieces of you that you may have long abandoned in your past. The more you radiate that authentic self, the more you magnetically attract your twin flame physically into your life, and the less you will experience this physical, painful experience of twin flame rejection. So you are being invited to begin to participate in your own self-healing journey. And I know it takes a lot of courage to do this. Believe me, I know. It's painful. At times you'll feel waves of emotion moving through you. And I feel as though many of you listening, you've already begun this journey. So you are simply getting the reassurance, the affirmation that you're on the right track, that even in spite of the pain that is surfacing, the confusion that is surfacing, and maybe even the ongoing rejection, you are healing and balancing. And that shift within will manifest externally in a shifting and balancing within your twin flame connection. So continue to love yourself harder, to accept yourself in a deeper and more profound way, and to radiate even more of your authenticity, even though you are afraid. I believe in you, and through this channel, it is my soul's mission to create a supportive, like-minded community of conscious, creative beings, souls who are beginning to awaken to their true purpose in this life, who are having the courage or finding the courage within themselves to radiate their authentic soul self. And because you're having the courage to do that, you've attracted this soul tribe virtually through this channel. So if I did resonate with you, please subscribe, join our community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. Have a wonderful rest of your day.